Welcome everybody, this is Matt Hatfield from Nice Kicks. We are live at the Agenda Trade Show in Las Vegas, summer 2015. I am joined today by my man, Scott Saltzman of Puma. My man, pleasure having you here, man.
My pleasure.
How has the show been for you?
Show's been great. Really busy Monday and Tuesday. Of course, Wednesday is everyone's hungover. So
I've heard that.
yeah. So we got some more people coming in later today, and then red eye back home to New York.
Red eye back home to New York. So tell me, what is some of the exciting stuff that you've been able to show to people?
Sure. Well, we first of all, we had a little Game Changers Summit, which we did a little preview. We had everyone from global, all around the country, all around the world come in and take a look at some things that we're doing this year, next year. And then for the show, we're showing spring, summer, all the collabs. We're doing stamped, Icy and Y for the end of this year. Next year, more stamped. Again, Chris Stamped is just killing it with his full.
Killing it, man.
And then previewing, we're doing a little collab with Dee and Ricky, two guys, two brothers out of Staten Island, New York,
right, representing.
And yeah, fun stuff.
For you, do you have, what is it that makes a project so exciting for you to show and to be a part of?
Well, one thing about Puma is we try to do things differently. It's not like we want to be normal. We have these guys from all over the world, looking for what's the next thing. Puma is known for being edgy. We don't want to be normal. So, we preview things for fall 16, which I can't even talk about, that are just out of control. Just thinking out of the box. Different, like you've never seen before. And
a lot of people might not remember, but Puma has a history of collaborations that were kind of, they've been edgy, man. Like Yo MTV Raps 2006, the Bonnie and Clyde with a gun that came in a money bag, Von Baudet. You guys were doing stuff with A-Life before collab was even a name.
Yes.
So tell me what it's like to work for a brand who was kind of early in that.
It's great because every time we go to a sales meeting, we just don't know what to expect. So that's the fun part. And then having, the best stores from all over the country come in, wanting to come in, let's see what Puma's doing, and sitting down and writing it. And every month we have drops, from collections to cream to select. It's just all this ammunition. It gives, the kid, what's next from Puma?
There are a lot of collabs in this space. There are a lot of collabs in the marketplace. Probably, I think 2014 set a record for the number of collabs. What does Puma do to make sure it's a meaningful collaboration?
Well, first of all, we try to pick partners that are out of the box, or some people who are iconic. And then we put the Puma twist on it. We're coming out, which I shouldn't talk about, but with a Bape collection, which is a collab/collection that's just, taking our heritage, taking their heritage, mixing it up, and then again, it's 360. It's apparel, it's footwear, and accessories, and it's killer. Just one little note about that. When Rihanna, who is one of our assets, came to Germany to sign with us, she saw that collection and she took one of the jackets home, and then it was all over the press. Again, we got in trouble for showing it early, but it's when Rihanna says, I'm gonna wear it. She's been great. There's all these stories that we're hearing from Germany. She came to the New York showroom and, just hung out with us. She's real, she's a fashion icon, and we're not telling her what to do. We're saying this is who we are. She's coming in putting her twist on it, She saw some old, boxing shoes from the 70s and said, that's what I want to do, and she's going to start trends with us.
So from Cream, you have, in the Cream line, you guys have some solid stuff coming.
We just dropped a couple of drops from Stamped. Before we have the collection, right, we do a Cream drop to introduce the world to it. We have a little something from Sneaker Freaker again. Getting great history with Puma and Sneaker Freaker.
Great history.
We don't even have to talk about it. I can just say those two names and people know.
Oh yes.
Something's coming.
They think about the shoes they've missed out on over the years.
We're doing stuff with S&S, out of Stockholm. Actually, I got a chance to go over there and hang out with those guys and actually see the store. Yep. What we're trying to do is, my position in Select from the US, there's a guy like me out in London, there's a guy like me in Japan. We all have this meeting once a year where we all meet up. We did it in New York first, and then we did it in London a couple months ago. We talk because that kid from London is looking what we're doing in the U.S. My guy in kid in the U.S. is looking at Japan, seeing what they're doing. So now we're all talking, and now we're all sharing. Where in the past it was always a little separate, like something would come out here, we wouldn't have it there. Now we're mixing everything together. And the SNS guy is now going to drop the shoe here. Hannon, I could rattle off a bunch of Soul Box. We just did something with United Arrows in Japan, which I'm wearing now.
Right.
So we all have access to it. It's not so far away.
Right. And in terms of styles and trends, do you find there's one region or one style, one brand that is kind of leading the charge in terms of fashion?
Puma.
I like that. How else can we end? How else can we end? Just, you heard it right there from Scott. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been Nice Kicks live at Agenda Las Vegas. See ya. What's up, everybody? This is Matt Hatfield, tuned in live from Agenda Show in Long Beach, California. I'm joined by none other than the founder of Brandblack, Mr.
David Rice.
David Rice. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Nice to see you, yeah.
So, take us through this. For a lot of people, they're just starting to get into Brandblack now, and they're starting to hear about it now. When did the whole process start with Brandblack?
I mean, I guess you could say it's been like, 20-something years in the making on some levels, right? I worked at Fila back in the days, I worked at Adidas. I feel like I've been wanting to build this type of product forever. I've always wanted to mix fashion and sport. My background was, my parents were founders of Kenzo, and then I played high school and college basketball. And so I wanted to mix those two. In some respects, it's rewarding to see where the industry's gone in the last couple of years. In other respects, it's irritating for me because the whole market's there now, and it's kind of like the same jackasses that didn't want to listen to me now are all like, it's all about fashion and sport. So like, I kind of wish I would have gotten to have a little bit more, a little bit more time with us doing it all by ourselves.
When was the first actual performance basketball shoe that you had constructed and got to market?
So our first shoe was launched in 13. It was the Raptor, and then that shoe spawned the JC1, so Jamal Crawford's first shoe that we did, signature shoe. So it was a variation on that shoe. So that was our first product to market. And again, speaking of trends, at the time, basketball, it was all about running, as you know.
Yes.
Now we're sort of, the pendulum's moving back again, but that's really, my core thing. And now we're starting to get into some other categories. Right. So I'll be showing you a running shoe in a minute here.
Awesome. A lot of people have wondered, working with JC, how integral is he into the design process and just the building process of the footwear?
He is the most exacting, difficult person I've worked with respect to functional components of his shoes.
Is that a good or bad thing?
It's a good thing because it drives you to make better product. He is really particular about comfort. He wants the shoes to feel worn in. But at the same time, he's slashing and cutting and putting a lot of stress on the product.
It's in his name.
Yeah.
The crossover.
J Crossover. So to build a shoe that feels broken in, is really comfortable, and also can handle somebody cutting and making moves like that has been really challenging. But it's been great. It makes the shoes better, you know what I mean? So I got two interesting shoes. I have got, first, this is the Ether. The thinking with this shoe was, I love Blue Chip Construction shoes, right? So again, shoe nerds. Blue Chip Construction is this type of shoe.
Right.
That's Chuck Taylors, that's Blazers, that's Pro Models. That's how you made basketball shoes up until the late 70s. I don't really know why they stopped doing it. It's still the best way to build a basketball shoe. It allows you to have a lot of support right across your metatarsal heads, the ball of your foot where you're going to be cutting. It's a great way to make shoes. It's turned into sort of a lifestyle aesthetic. I wanted to take a contemporary, really functional basketball shoe and go back to a Blue Chip Construction. So that's what we have here with the Ether. So we got a knit here, a couple of leather support pieces, and then the Blue Chip Construction. This is our new tooling for us with a new foam that we developed. This is black foam. This foam has 20% more than our last foam. It's such a shocking difference. It's one of those things where it doesn't look as crazy as like, Viz Tech, which usually doesn't do anything other than just cost a lot of money and hurt you.
Right.
Foams is where it's at. If you develop great foams, it makes a huge difference. You play 4 games in this shoe, it feels like you played 2 games.
And I noticed too with this outsole, it's not just, technically very good, but aesthetically it looks clean as hell.
And that's, and when we finally showed the JC3,
right?
Again, trying to mix sort of.
You can bring it out if you want.
It's coming eventually.
It's coming. Okay,
it's eventually coming. Another thing that I really like about those old school shoes is they don't have a lot of padding.
No, they don't.
And what does an ankle brace look like? An ankle brace has no padding.
None.
Right to your foot.
Right.
The tighter you can get to your foot, the less the shoe moves around, the better support you have. You know, and I'm not doing this because I'm like some revisionist that's trying to get back to the old ways. That was genuinely a better solution than the new stuff that they've done uppers wise. Now fusing, you know, there's fusing on this. All these new production methods are better. But Blue Chip Constructions, the thinner uppers, all that stuff, that's a better way to make shoes. It just was a really great way to make shoes.
Right. People always say, oh, your shoes got a haircut. You guys getting not into the low-top basketball game, but you're entering a different market with
Running.
this.
Yeah, finally running. This is Run for Your Life. This is a marathon distance racing shoe. Super lightweight. We got our molded stabilizer in the back. That stabilizer, I don't know, you probably saw, we Instagrammed that on a basketball concept that we never made about here. That's why we're not showing the JC3. That inspired a lot of products.
That inspired a lot. Okay.
We've been working on this shoe for a long time. We were having a hard time rectifying getting the aesthetics the way we wanted it and have it function at such a high level. You know, running is so pure, and the guys don't care about aesthetics that much, and we wanted to appeal to that crowd. So this shoe will be, you know, with all the running geek bloggers, as well as the fashion side. And again, I think you know, you can wear it as just a fashion sneaker.
Absolutely. I love the unorthodox approach to what the toe box is.
We actually had to develop a new TPU here that stretches because it was hurting some of the runners. They couldn't splay their toes the way they wanted to. So, you know, there's a lot of testing that goes into all of our products.
Well, thank you so much for coming by, man. Thank you so much for talking about all these products, and I'm going to hold it to you on that JC3.
I promise. I love babbling about shoes. It's my favorite. Thank you.
All right, everybody. David Rice, Brandblack. This is a brand to watch. This is a brand to watch. Okay?